There's been a lot of weird controversies surrounding Mark Waid this year, and this might be the weirdest. I saw this on X and followed up on this with some insiders at DC Comics. This is strange stuff. This guy's got massive problems, and he's still out there at DC Comics. He's writing Batman and Robin Year One right now. He's like helming their Justice League reboot. And it's a bad situation for DC Comics after they just got through their major event called Absolute Power with Mark Waid writing that, and it was a dud. It didn't sell very well because they were rebooting their entire line again, and everybody kind of tuned out at that point. I just don't know what's happening at this point or what to do about this. It just seems kind of sad, and the guy clearly needs some help. We'll get into the news about this in just a moment. Please smash that like and subscribe button. Join us here as we talk about all things in comic books. I am a comic creator myself, blacklisted from the industry, and I've had a lot of people at DC Comics, of course, mass report my campaigns, get me banned all over the the net. I've been banned on Patreon for, quote, hate speech. I've been banned on Kickstarter for their what they call it, their violation of community standards. They won't tell me what that means. Banned on Indiegogo. So I'm on Fund My Comic right now, which is a great platform. Now, I am a model creator. I deliver my books regularly. And this is my 13th graphic novel. We're not tourists here. And so they just didn't want me getting successful is what it comes down to. And as the channel gets more successful, as we're becoming one of the biggest influencers in comics, they really want to shut us down. And so this is a great way to fight back against mainstream culture. It's a great graphic novel, guys. This is fun action science fiction. If you like DC Comics like back in the 70s and 80s, we are doing this. Like the art style on this is like Fourth World from Jack Kirby. That's the type of stuff that I love especially. And it is Space Marines versus Bug Monsters. It's pure high-tea action, 66 pages. Come in and join us. There's 2 more backers we need to get to 300, and I would appreciate you coming in and reading. I love everybody who reads, and it's in the description below. Thank you so much for supporting our work. All right, Mark Waid quit the internet in anger over the election in early November. His past behavior in the comic industry haunts the embattled creator, who's now been accused of defending adult fan images being posted to the internet of kids' superhero properties. Now, he's generated a lot of controversy over the last couple of years. I think he's a big liability for DC Comics at this point. He's even just attacking other people in the industry, and this is him ranting about Mark Millar, the Netflix creator who does Jupiter's Legacy, that does the Magic Order, that, of course, did the Ultimates for Marvel back in the day. You see how he's just like ranting about him calling a falling star rocketing across the sky. Another former comics superstar whose heat is fading chooses to cry for attention by blaming the industry, his peers, and the audience, rather than taking stock of his own professional progress. You see, this is classic projection. As DC Comics circles the drain, sure, Absolute Batman had that like temporary bump, but it's not going to be sustainable, especially with what they're doing over there with this type of stuff. And then somebody else calls Mark Millar a douche. I mean, terrible. I mean, this is the type of people they want to cultivate the audience of, and they're just hateful. I mean, these are just hateful bigots. Mark Waid's one of them, of course. And so he goes even crazier later and says, I think a lot of us would rather see the industry burn down than get together with the alt-right. I know I would. Sorry. And so, of course, everybody I don't like is alt-right. And, I mean, it's just the typical just hatred. And it's really sad. Mark Waid really is a hateful person who's just really bitter and angry. And like I said, he's got mental issues. It really shows. And so we want him. I actually sent him a message saying, keep him in my prayers, and we do want him to come to the Lord Jesus Christ like everybody else. It's really sad to watch. So on Blue Sky at the beginning of the month, as I mentioned, he posted that even if by some miracle this turns around, I don't believe in the basic goodness of my fellow Americans anymore. And without this, I cannot write superheroes. There's just no point. When you see a declining quality of my work soon, you'll be able to trace it back to this night. So he can't even do his work because of the election. This is how unhinged the guy is. And there's rumors that in the past he's like put holes through walls in the office, punching things. And this is where it gets weird after former DC Comics editor Valerie D'Orosio spoke about Mark Waid. She says, I have a Mark Waid story. This is where it gets creepy. Many moons ago, I had written something on my old blog about how I thought adult fan images actual terminology was a lot stronger, trying not to spook your algorithm, okay, of children's characters should have an age barrier on a Google search. It was caused a big controversy in the online comics world, with critics saying I was advocating censorship. This is what porn addicts do all the time. They always go, "You're advocating censorship," when you're like, "Okay, porn's bad." It's really wild. But a lot of people are addicted to porn, and it looks like Mark Waid might be one of those. He said, in fact, it caused so much furor that Mark Waid himself personally emailed me out of the blue to say, quote, "I had a very dangerous mind, and I, quote, shouldn't be allowed to blog." Now remember, wanting to block porn from children is dangerous, according to Mark Waid. That's very, very weird. I was taken aback. Here was a well-known, powerful figure in the comic industry writing to a woman who was also in the industry but less powerful, telling her she shouldn't be allowed to communicate online. That's misogyny, Mark Waid. That is classic mansplaining misogyny, and you should apologize publicly, profusely, and probably resign because of that, I'd say. And so I wrote back Mark saying, "You realize I wasn't advocating comic censorship, but rather saying dirty images of children's characters made by adults probably shouldn't end up in the sight of said children casually on the internet during a search. I wasn't even saying they should be banned outright. So what exactly was wrong with this opinion that you felt I needed to be thrown off the internet?" The conversation ended kind of inconclusively, where he never really apologized. That's my Mark Waid story anyway. Don't meet your heroes, folks, at least sometimes. What a weird hill to die on right there. That sounds like a very reasonable point by Valerie here, who, of course, just wants children not to be exposed to porn. And Mark Waid says the opposite. This is who's in charge of like Justice League now, guys. I mean, this is who's writing Batman and Robin Year One. These are books that are, all ages, aimed at children, and that's very disconcerting. It really is. So I spoke to a comic industry insider here about this situation because I have an insider at DC Comics, and this person said this about Mark Waid. Said it gets creepier, and he said. So this insider said he had a very questionable friend in the industry also, and Waid apparently very publicly defended the friend, who was then arrested for what the insider describes as, quote, very bad stuff. And left it at that, and said, "I can't say more because it'll out who I am, etc. And I can't let this get known." And we don't want to do that. We want to protect our sources here because we like this inside information. But to me, this is my speculation. It sounds like it's the arrest of Green Lantern writer Gerard Jones, who was arrested for possession of child pornography. So when Mark Waid is out there saying that pornography should not be censored from the eyes of children on the internet. That's kind of a wild thing. And then he's also known for being very good friends with this guy who has this stuff, and then of course advocating for him in the midst of what was going on with this. That's a really big red flag. A really big red flag. And this is what we've been saying about the industry for years, that there's a lot of creepy stuff going on in the entertainment industry. Now, I don't know how far this goes with Mark Waid. Mark Waid will have to elaborate on this, and right now he's quit the internet. But he should elaborate on this. And if this is all stuff that came out there, I mean, an apology would be nice for sure, because this is crazy. Absolutely crazy behavior. Another pattern of unhinged behavior that keeps going on. This is who gets promoted in the comic book industry. This is what happens within this Whisper Network stuff, guys. This is what's been going on for a lot of years, and this is why we call it out in a nutshell. All right, should be a simple thing. Like, yes, of course, obviously, pornography of superheroes should be kept away from children's eyes. We condemn that here. And of course, this is another bad blow for DC Comics PR. Hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this here. And please grab some great... This is good for all ages, guys. It's just a lot of fun. You want to get it for anybody out there, yourself, for kids. Everybody could read this. That's what comics should be about, and we love this. It's in the description below. Thank you so much. If you like action adventure, if you like science fiction, this is for you. Get us to 300 backers today. Fight the mainstream industry. I can't wait to get you guys this book. We'll be back soon.